Look, it's a flood.
The flood.
It's flooding.
Get away.
Quick, we need to get to higher ground.
Open the floodgates.
Please got me laughing after that.
Dude, the Nashville, it was so strange because I feel like at first it was like media blacked out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, for real, it was because it happened on Christmas Day and you didn't hear anything about it. I had to go
because
on
I'm
Twitter.
opening presents and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I had to go on Twitter to find out about this shit like 2 days later, and I'm like, oh, why are we not talking about this? But that's the way it always happens, unless some dude in a fucking turban does it.
Right, yeah, facts.
We don't ever talk about that shit.
Well, it was
like-
nice to know that it wasn't about a white nationalist this time.
Yeah, who the fuck, like, who was he?
He's not on, like, the radar at all. Like, the FBI said he wasn't on their radar at all. He's just some tech dude who, from what I can gather, had some concerns about, like, 5G towers and shit like that.
Yeah, I heard something about 5G, but I didn't know, you know.
Yeah, 'cause
sometimes you hear the news and you're just like...
They don't know shit. Like, how much do y'all really know? Because the news never really tells us how much they really know.
Right. And
Yeah, that's why they kind of have to come to one place where they kind of gather it all together and sort through this flood of information.
Or let's put on the tinfoil real quick. Or
Ooh, we
they'll
love
just...
tinfoil.
Or they'll just make the shit up.
That part. They'll be like, okay, so there was a truck with a bomb in it parked downtown. Yeah, it's probably terrorist. It's probably Muslim terrorist and Sharia law, guys. We tried to warn y'all about it. And now everything is rising up and crashing through. Ladies
This is
and
Doc and
gentlemen,
Ziggy with the Flood. Keep your death threats to 140 characters or less.
how's everybody doing? First
we
episode
have-
of the new year.
Happy New Year, everybody. We have a guest on. We have LordGod.
What's up?
Introduce
And-
yourself to the folks.
You
man.
know, I'm, you know, some people know me as Joe or LordGod in the Smash community, but,
Everybody here has their nickname.
yeah. LordGod. I don't know how I even got that one, but it's great.
It is.
Look, Ted doesn't need to know your real name.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
When he said my man LordGod wants to come on, I said, who? Yeah. But welcome to the
Yeah,
Flood,
man,
man.
I'm excited to be here.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, man. What do you
Man.
do? I mean, you ain't got to reveal too much to the
You know, I'm
but-
just, you know, gaming nerd, man. I like to, you know,
Hey,
like me some anime, and I like talking about bullshit, you know?
hey, you sound like you're going to be right at home.
Yeah, you know?
Settle in, get comfortable.
So, LordGod,
Yeah.
everybody has those hills that they want to die on. A belief that they cannot from bewitch be moved. But we want to know if that idea floats. So, what is your island?
So, I just watched the Wonder Woman movie recently, the new one, 84.
Oh, here we go.
And, man, I fucking hated it.
Damn.
Oh my god, it was horrific. And I was thinking about
shit.
all the DC movies, right?
Yeah.
And Man of Steel is the closest thing we'll ever get to a live-action Dragon Ball Z movie. And it,
What?
and it's a great movie.
Okay.
That's a hill I'm dying on.
Wow.
I need some explanation here.
That's a good one.
What are your comparisons?
So, like, do you remember? So he's fighting like Kryptonians, right?
Yeah, right.
So, like, they're like they can fly. They hit real hard.
Okay.
Bro, there's one point where they're throwing trains at each other.
Right.
Do y'all remember that?
Yeah.
You remember the scene
Yeah.
when they're inside the house and they're doing like CQC slamming, like punching each other?
Right.
I'm like, bro, this is a nasty fight
Wait,
scene.
Yeah.
And
no,
it was just like,
it was though.
I'm like, my buddy told me, he was like, yo, this is like some Dragon Ball Z shit. I was like,
And that's
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know why that movie got so much. And the ending, it's him and General Zod literally destroying the city. To the point where
Like
it was
a
so
Dragon
much
Ball Z
destruction.
fight. Yeah,
Right, it was
yeah.
so much destruction. They brought it into Batman vs Superman. It was like the fight was that cataclysmic.
right,
I was
right.
like, this is a Dragon Ball Z movie.
It's almost like what Civil War was about, right? Like the casualties and stuff from the
Right.
superhero fights. And it's
Right.
like, yeah, no, I see what you're getting at, because how they be tearing up them countryside, Joe, and them
Right.
Dragon Ball Z fights.
Right, remember Napa's just like
blowing
and
up
the whole
fucking mountains
city's
and
gone.
shit. Yeah.
When you were
Yeah.
watching Dragon Ball Z, though, I was always watching it. I was like, "No, that's the mountain's gonna get blown up," just because of the way it's animated.
Oh, yeah, it's
I'm like, yeah, nope,
It's
sorry,
got
not
that
your
light.
thoughts.
Yeah.
It's got like a lighter or
Around
darker
it.
color.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah.
That's the one that's getting hit. But yeah, that I love Man of Steel, man. I love that movie.
My whole. You said that, I was just like, holy shit, that's a really fucking good take.
Dude.
No, yeah.
That's a
And
really
people were
good
like going to
take.
see it. It was like, I want to see the story. I was like, yeah, but like when did y'all watch Justice League back in the day?
Yeah, the
Do
cartoon.
you all remember?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the episode where Shazam and Superman? Superman's like being a dick and like he was like, "There's a bomb under this orphanage. I knew it. Luther's behind all this." And Shazam's like, "Bro, chill. Like, you gotta chill."
Yeah.
And then Superman's like starts knocking down shit.
Yeah.
He destroys the whole orphanage. not that that's funny or anything.
I mean, but
like he starts losing his mind. He looks like an asshole.
yeah.
My favorite Superman, by the way, is Injustice asshole Superman.
Oh yeah.
And dude,
Rip
it's
Joker's
just
heart
like-
out Superman.
Yes.
Yeah, that shit.
Lobotomized Shazam Superman. Like, and like,
oh my god.
like I remember it was just like these dudes were hitting each other. It was just like American Dragon Ball Z. I'm a huge Dragon Ball Z fan. You know that.
Yeah.
And he just like it's Justice League back then. It was like a mature show. It was great for like late teens, and it was like.
Well, that's who they were aiming that shit towards. Even like the Teen Titans back then, right?
Yeah.
Like when you compare it to Teen
Not
Titans,
Go.
right, exactly. When you compare it to Teen Titans Go, it's like this shit was clearly for an entirely different market, right? Like,
Facts.
and then but how they always tank that shit is by trying to tie in the toy sales to it. And they were like, nobody wants to buy the fucking action figures when they thinking about their emotions and shit after watching the show.
All right, right. There's some scenes like I remember like.
There's some heavy shit that went on in the
Facts.
show.
Did you watch all of Justice
Oh,
League?
yeah. No, Justice League was
So
one of my favorite shows
good.
growing up.
I remember like that Martian Manhunter dude. He like his whole
Yeah.
like race is dead.
Yeah.
And like there was this telepath who was like tricking him into believing he was back home. He's like naked
Yeah.
with his family. And,
Yeah.
you know, he wasn't wearing his get up. He's just like in his house, like having dinner with his family. And like, it's not funny, but it's kind of funny. It's like it was some like I forget these dudes' name. Forgive me, but like it's this
His
demon
Martian
looking
Manhunter?
dude.
Oh,
Yeah.
Etrigan?
I think it was him. He's like got the big eyes and like he looks like a demon. He like walks in. Hey man, you need to get
gone
out.
form of man.
Yeah.
Rise again, the demon, Etrigan.
I think that's him.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But he walks in. He's like, "Hey man, you need to snap out of him. Let's get out of here."
Yeah,
And
Jason
he's like,
Blood. Jason
How
Blood.
dare you enter the sanctity of my home? And he's like mad as shit.
Yeah,
Right.
I
Oh
remember
my
this
god.
scene.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, okay.
It's fun. It's the most like, oh damn, that sucks. He thinks he's with his family.
Yeah, yeah.
But the way he stood up and popped up, I was like, bro, this is great.
It was.
I wish
That
some
whole
movies were
that
like
whole
that.
franchise. All right, so Superman animated universe,
So,
Justice League, Batman, everything. It
Young
always
Justice,
comes
yo.
back to nothing gets fixed without Batman.
Right.
Nothing gets fixed without Batman.
And like you think you have Superman and like, oh, everything's gonna be gravy, but no, Superman can fuck shit up. You know
But
what I mean?
Superman also calls Batman. He's like, dude,
He's
I
like,
don't
yo,
I don't know what to
bro?
do here, dog.
Because
Yeah.
Superman doesn't have any management skills. That's all Batman, right? Like you got to remember, aside from being a superhero, Batman is running like $1 billion fucking industry.
Right.
you
He's like a
know?
tactician. He's like a.
And Clark Kent is literally middle management. Superman doesn't know how to handle any,
Right.
high-tech CEO things. He just knows how to push papers in
He's a
buildings.
fucking
Like,
reporter. He's a reporter. He's
Superman is George Bush to Batman's Dick Cheney.
oh shit.
You know what I
Oh shit.
mean? You know what I
That's
mean?
the take. That's the take.
that's
I don't think I've
that
ever heard
fucking
that one.
flows.
No, yeah, I was gonna say that's an island. That might have to be your island right
Yeah.
there. Superman and Batman are the Dick Cheney and George Bush of the DC.
Yes, for sure.
Well,
Man, Justice League was a good show.
That was fucking. So your actual island, you have an actual island with the DBZ, but apparently you just like terraformed another one up from the.
Right.
Because I
volcano
watched
popped up in the
Flashpoint.
middle of his island.
I've been on like a DC
Flashpoint
kick.
paradox. Oh my god.
It's so good.
Yes, it was, yo.
Man, I was trying to have my girlfriend and my my niece watching. You know, they're all on their phone. Like, oh, yo, y'all see this?
Me too.
It's like Wonder Woman and Aquaman are coming up to like just
Wonder
like
Woman
take
fucking
over the
murdering
Earth.
kids, son.
The Shazam kids?
Yo.
No spoilers, but like
Spoilers.
I mean,
Hard
shit,
spoilers.
If
that was
you
a hard
haven't
spoiler.
watched Flashpoint at this point, why are you still listening to this podcast?
Right,
Yo, go
man.
stop and watch Flashpoint Paradox.
Yes,
My island here, if I can propose an island, all of DC's animated shit is way better than the Marvel MCU.
Facts.
It's way better than all of their live action shit. If they just leaned in on their animated team and made animated motion picture films.
like high end,
High quality like we used to get with
Because
like,
I mean, we
Titans.
all still watch all of the
That's what I'm
DC
saying.
animated stuff.
Oh,
We'll go to
they're
some like
incredible.
third-party streaming site or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
That's what if they were putting
Disney
that
Plus, I
shit
think
out
it has
in-
them all now. No, not Disney Plus. HBO Max.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, HBO Max has DC's
All
whole
of them.
catalog. That's why I'm watching Young
Yeah.
Justice again. And you talking about like heavy motifs and shit like that. The whole beginning is like Superboy and Superman having this, yo, you my daddy, and it's like, yo, I don't know you.
You know, I've never really sat down and watched Young
Yo,
Justice.
watch Young Justice because that shit is fucking hilarious, and it's just like the old Teen Titans, son. So
It's like Teen Titans but mixed with like Justice League
yeah,
type.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yo, and it's
like you
great.
have both of them show up. Like,
Oh, really?
intermingle. Yeah, like the Justice League people
Yeah.
are there with the Young
and
Justice
like
people.
mentoring
Oh.
the Young Justice
Yeah.
crew. And like, yo, it's great because right now they've got like I'm stuck on this whole like Superman and Superboy thing because Superboy is
He's a clone.
He's a clone of Superman.
Yeah.
So he's trying to figure out who he is, and he meets Superman, and Superman doesn't want shit to do with this clone. And they've got Batman playing like the
Who
mentor.
cloned him?
Not
to get off topic,
Yeah,
but
it
you-
was like some syndicate. I haven't gotten. that
Okay,
far
yeah, I need
yet.
to check
Yeah,
that out.
get hit, yo, because they got Batman playing like yo, he's like, Clark, you really need to talk to this boy. Like, I know.
Yeah, no, like Batman's being like the good father.
Exactly, like, yo,
Really?
you can't keep
Yeah, Batman's
running-
being the good
yeah.
I
father.
need to watch.
Yo,
he's like Piccolo. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, yes, he is.
So weird, like mixing DC and DBZ today.
Hey, I mean, we did a whole episode of MCU versus DBZ, so
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we already know who. Right?
No, what's your take? What's your take?
DBZ by far.
Oh,
That's-
no.
no,
Yeah, all right.
hold on.
All right.
In the
So there
MCU?
are
No,
there's like Galactus.
This was
and
our whole
crazy
thing.
characters.
So it was if you take Universe 9 out of the Tournament of Power, which is the ones with like cats that got eliminated first.
yeah.
You swap in the MCU. How does the MCU do?
All right.
If
Who do
you
they
pick the
got though?
So no,
Yeah,
here,
okay, so
here
this
are
is the team that we
so
decided
we
on.
decided on
We're talking about the universe's strongest, right?
the
so this is-
MCU.
that aren't gods,
No,
obviously.
yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
so, yeah.
The whole premise is Thanos kind of dresses like Beerus.
Right. Thanos is there.
Stan Lee is Supreme Kai
Okay.
because
Yeah.
he's in everything.
Right.
So we had Thor, Doctor Strange, Phoenix.
Ooh. I
Um,
didn't think about Phoenix.
That's what I'm saying, son. Like, people
Rogue.
always, it's so easy.
Good night, sugar. I love Rogue, yo.
Yo, it's
One of my
so easy
favorite
to look at
X-Men.
DBZ's strongest characters because Marvel spends a lot of time trying to humanize their superheroes. So it's
Oh, yeah.
so you forget how
keep going while I write
powerful-
down the list.
So you forget how powerful these characters really can be. I mean, like, Thor is crushing fucking planets the same way Goku is crushing planets.
Right, but you never see Goku destroy a planet,
Yeah.
but you know it's there because his
Exactly.
ass could kill Frieza.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And I mean, we
And
watched
we watched Frieza kill.
we watched
Open.
Thor open up and take like a fucking sunbeam to the goddamn chest.
He's holding technically a neutron star in his hand. You know what I mean?
Do you think Goku could pick up Mjolnir?
Not when he's Super Saiyan.
Why not when he's
So-
Super Saiyan?
Because Super Saiyan, they inherently have to be angry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're. There was like some lore behind the Super Saiyan that your heart is not actually
Pure.
pure. And I can't
I
remember
it
what
was
it
something.
is.
It was something to do with Vegeta.
Because they're like a war race. Like,
Right. And oh shit. Man, I'm gonna have to look that up, dude. Hold up.
Who in the DBZ universe do you think could pick up Mjolnir?
Trunks.
Trunks? No, I would say Gohan.
Rage Trunks. Yeah, Gohan.
Yeah, I was gonna
for
say
sure.
Trunks or Gohan.
Gohan for sure, I think could pick up Mjolnir.
Young Gohan. Yo, Teen Gohan is my
Yeah, absolutely.
Team Gohan and Broly.
Saiyaman Gohan.
I hate Saiyaman.
Everyone hates Saiyaman Gohan.
Saiyaman, but I'm saying that era of Gohan was like, Gohan was so OP that he literally...
Oh, Mr. Gohan, he didn't even have to go Super Saiyan.
No, exactly.
What was it? Rage... Super Saiyan.
Who was the last one? I feel like they're obvious.
No, but like Silver Surfer, he's pretty OP too in the MCU, right?
Yeah, but he doesn't have a surfboard.
Oh, when he doesn't. Or
He doesn't have a surfboard.
No,
Yeah.
he took the surfboard away from him because of
The rules of the tournament
the
of power.
parameters of the tournament.
Oh.
So we
And
are
also,
still,
you got to think they can't kill in
exactly.
the tournament
Yep.
of power.
Yeah.
Or fly.
So
Or
we
fly. I
yeah.
forgot about that.
So based off of those rules, the list that we came up
Man.
with, I
We
can't
have-
remember.
You
the
got to put the Hulk in there.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
so we have Phoenix, Captain Marvel, Thor, Hulk, Rogue, Doctor Strange, Doctor Doom, the Venom symbiote, Nightcrawler,
Okay.
and...
Nightcrawler's getting knocked out first.
No.
Sorry.
Nightcrawler's not getting knocked
I
out.
want to hear why you
Did we
put
have
Nightcrawler on
Professor
there.
X?
Huh?
Or did we take Professor
We took
X?
Professor X off. We also took Loki off and Darwin off. I feel like it's one of the obvious ones that we both immediately agreed on.
Yeah, I can't remember it right now.
I'm trying to think. I feel like there's some like really OP Marvel heroes out there.
But anyway, no, the whole...
Juggernaut, yo.
It wasn't Juggernaut.
No,
it was...
wasn't Juggernaut. But we had the Hulk. I feel like the Hulk.
The Hulk is like the Juggernaut. Like
Yeah.
it's pretty much the same thing, but
So,
Hulk
the whole
is-
Nightcrawler was the one that he got the biggest eyebrow raise for me.
Right,
But
I'm
you
like-
can't fly, right?
right, but you can
Teleport.
Yeah. Oh, so he
Off
can't
the
get
stage.
knocked off, but
Grab
he can
somebody.
get knocked out. You know what I mean?
Somebody else is falling because it's like Smash Brothers. You have until you fall below the bottom of the Nightcrawler jumps off.
He's a good
Blinks
rebound.
somebody,
Yeah.
brings them right back on.
He's a good rebound guy.
He's
Yeah.
only support.
Did Goku ever use instant transmission?
Yeah, I feel like Goku's definitely used instant transmission.
Like at,
especially
tournament
in-
of power?
Oh, I don't know if he did.
I don't think he did.
Tournament of Power.
Huh.
I also think Goku's not smart enough to think of that.
Me either.
So, like I said, we went in big brain with,
Oh, yeah,
with the
no.
rules of the
Dude,
Tournament of Power
that's
trying
what,
to
you
win.
know.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say we definitely have some heavy strategists on our team.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like we were
That's
gonna have
another
it.
thing,
So
like, all of the Marvel characters are also like super stupid smart. Like,
yeah, so we were gonna have like Captain Marvel Captain Marvel team up with Phoenix, and then Marvel comes up with the commands.
Phoenix is
to
a
meet,
good one to
psychically
think about,
relays
though.
them all.
Phoenix
and Rogue. I mean, the second Rogue or
Because
Goku.
Phoenix's
even-
power is
Oh yeah, that was
almost
what we were gonna
unlimited,
do.
right?
We were gonna have the Venom symbiote show up on Rogue, and then have Nightcrawler blink them to the very top,
Bro.
survey the field, and then be like, "Where's Jiren or Goku?" And then blink Rogue Venom on top of them.
Hey Marvel, check that out. Hey,
Right.
that sounds like a dope idea for a comic.
Phoenix Rogue. Yeah.
Yes, or
Rogue.
Symbiote Rogue.
Oh my god.
That would be sick.
Yeah, it'd be like.
I love Rogue though. I've always loved Rogue,
Yup.
especially because like I came from like the Marvel, like
Oh yeah,
Marvel,
absolutely.
you know, Marvel,
yeah, the old
stuff.
X-Men cartoons
Bro.
on fucking
Marvel's-
UPN Saturday.
Marvel's Capcom.
Oh my god. Yeah.
The last person I feel like has got to be like extremely obvious, and I just can't think of them right now.
No, but that's a tough question because like the power range in Marvel is so huge,
Exactly.
especially.
No, and like we
And
broke
then-
that down. They have the 1 to 7 power grid, right?
Right.
But once you hit the 7 on any of them, it's just like
It's an
we
infinite
throw our
seven.
hands up.
Yeah.
It's just like we throw our hands up.
It's an infinite seven. Like, and then we even had to minimize it down to characters that have been in the movies and not like comic book characters because
Right.
then you're really getting OP.
And then we had to limit it even more with just stuff that they've done in the movies.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, wasn't it Scarlet Witch?
No, we didn't do Scarlet Witch because
No.
she had no control over her powers yet at the time.
I don't know, man. I think they're pretty high up there. Now that I think about it,
That's why I said, yo, it's
They're
so
pretty
easy.
high up
It's
there.
so easy to be like, yeah, no,
forget,
there
like, their
should be
powers,
scene
though.
Goku.
We did it was like if you go through the top 10, putting the MCU in there, it's like 1, 2, 3 are the DBZ, and then it's like 4 through 9 are Marvel before you get to the next DBZ character.
yeah, because like Tien is like he's fighting like Captain America type.
Yeah,
you know what I
exactly,
mean.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Panther, maybe.
But them not.
I mean, we did try to. I tried to argue Professor X just drops him in and convinces everybody that he's not there.
Who are the people who do the mashup fights? They just did Brawley and Hulk Death Battle.
Yeah.
They just dropped, I think, Brawley versus the Hulk, which I love that idea because like I feel like if there was any Marvel character who would like really stand a chance against
It's
like,
because the
high
Hulk is the
power-
Marvel Super Saiyan trope character.
Right. He just
The
keeps
Super
getting
Saiyan trope that
stronger
Hulk is from
and
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Right.
It is a never-ending power limit.
Right.
The angrier you can piss this nigga off,
Or you'll
wear
reach a
him
new
out.
power
Right.
level.
Yeah.
Like, that is called a Super Saiyan trope for a reason. That's like, you know, I don't make fun of it in Dragon Ball Z because that's what I want from Dragon Ball Z.
Right.
Right. But he can't fly.
And he can't throw energy blast and shit.
Right, but he can tank through everything, I feel like.
He might even potentially be able to punch through a fucking energy blast if he's mad.
Right, if he's mad enough. Yeah, so that was in that. I like how you put it in the tournament power though. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, give it parameters so
Right.
it's not so chaotic.
like, oh, I
No,
can just jump off
Jiren or
planet.
Goku body everybody 1v1. Like,
Yeah.
So that's the thing that actually made me. I was like, this would be an interesting.
See, you
debate.
say
it's
that, but
just
I
like
still have a hard time believing that Jiren and Goku would body everybody in the Marvel Universe 1v1.
Especially, I feel like the Hulk, because like, I've never seen him really incapacitated. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Like,
And I made this argument that Spider-Man himself, right, in hand-to-hand combat,
The only way you
has
incapacitate
taken out
the Hulk is you
every
make him
character
sad.
in the Marvel Universe.
you just have to make the Hulk sad.
yeah, it's always like an internal
You have to
struggle,
make-
like that, like takes down the Hulk. It's never like raw power.
No, he
You
would
make
be
Hulk
beating the
sad,
shit
and
out-
then he gets into the Quinjet and flies away. Like,
He'd be beating the shit out of Goku and hear Gohan cry, "Dead!" And then he'd be like, "Oh!" And then all of a sudden he'd lose a little bit of his power and give Goku the fucking upper hand again. Like, it would be that simple.
pretty much. Anyway, yeah, I definitely say that that flows.
Yeah.
That flows.
that was a strong, sturdy eyelid you came with just that.
Yeah, man. I just watched.
Honestly,
Wonder
just getting
Woman
feedback from somebody else on that Dragon Ball Tournament of Power thing on record is nice.
You hear that?
I just want to say,
You hear that, fans?
what's a better monologue,
I knew
Denzel in
this was
Training
coming.
Day
I knew this was coming.
or Sam Jackson in Pulp Fiction?
Oh shit! And I just watched Training Day recently, and I've seen Pulp Fiction thousands of times. I say Training Day, man.
God damn it!
Training Day hits
Thank
harder,
you. That's what I said.
and I feel like Sam has such a smaller role
In Pulp
because
Fiction,
it's like a what do you call it?
Episodic.
Yeah,
type of
it's
movie.
like-
I was
the
gonna say
episodic.
episodic, but that doesn't feel right.
I feel like there's an actual name for it, but you know, whatever.
But I feel you. And whereas Sam's may be more quotable, I said this in the beginning, Denzel's is more impactful. The build up to that monologue was just well deserved.
Fine, I lose this battle.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Pulp Fiction is.
I mean,
you
that
know.
man, it's great. That's why it's so
Yeah.
quotable. Say what again? Say what one more time? Come on.
I never really rewatched that. I haven't seen it probably like 5 years now.
It was one of those movies that like I watched so much in those like formative years that.
Oh
like,
yeah, like one of late teens. and
Yeah,
stuff.
I don't. I feel like even when it comes on now, I'm like, yeah, I've seen this movie thousands of times. Are you the kind of person that likes to rewatch movies and stuff like that? Like media, will you go back and rewatch old shows and binge watch them, or are you like a one and done kind of person?
It depends on the movie.
Okay.
So like, I'm a huge sci-fi like mystery.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
if you ever watched Annihilation,
Yes.
I had to watch that
fucking love that
multiple
movie.
times.
I'm about to read the book, yo, because I just.
I have it. I have it on
Yeah.
Audible. It's
Yeah.
called like Zone X or Area X, I
Yeah.
think it's called, and it's like a trilogy. But it's so strange. It's such a strange movie.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I remember like, oh, it's a great feminist movie. I understand that,
Yeah.
but I did not go through the movie
No, feeling that way.
feeling it was like in-game.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
let's go, girls! And they're like fighting. I'm like, okay, that's like literally like inserted in, you know.
They had that,
but like that movie, I didn't even think it was like an all-female team. I just felt it was like a good cast of characters.
But that's the way I feel like it should be, right? And
right.
that's why I get where they're like, oh, that was a great moment in like feminist movie history. But it's also like, because it was just a movie with a bunch of women in it.
Right.
And you didn't stop for a second and think, oh, this is a movie with a bunch of women.
Right. It was just like a great, like, all-female cast, and it was like, this is amazing movie.
Can I actually make a statement for my delegation?
Yeah.
For a second there? Pretty much anything in pop culture, for us, was just like, it's just a movie with women in it, or it's just a show with black people in it, or
it was,
and like we never even thought about that until like recently, where it's like, no, we have this representation, and I'm like, oh yeah, that is really important that you guys had that, and it's a bit to me, I never even registered.
It was one of those things where I feel like it's often referred to as like what the Fox Monday Night Massacre or something like that, where remember how like Fox had like Living Single, and
to me, I love Static Shock growing up because, it was a superhero show.
Right.
Justice League was a superhero show.
Right, but what I'm saying
Martin
is,
was a sitcom.
Exactly.
Versus Brady Bunch was a sitcom. There was no delineation for me until...
There wasn't for the longest time until all of a sudden these networks decided like, oh, for some reason all of the shows of color were the shows that they could get rid of, right? And Space 4 with Fox, football. Fox got rid of all those shows, pushed them to like Friday night, Saturday night, where they weren't getting the same numbers, and eventually they died off and were bought out by UPN. And it's often
UPN had all the
I wasn't even thinking from like
all the shows,
but what I'm saying is we had all that shit. Like I can think of tons of just sitcoms featuring black people that I remember growing up. Malcolm and Eddie, In the House with LL Cool J and shit like that.
Living Single was a big one.
Like having
Single.
I'm jumping off of what you were saying about like having it just like shoved in your face like that.
Yeah.
And
I don't think it's healthy. Like it's good in like a way, but like it's like.
But yeah, just until like recently, like to me, all the maggots that are like, oh, I matter, to me it just blows my fucking mind because it's like it should have already been abundantly clear.
Yeah.
Right. Like when you look at
like to me
the census like statistics for representation in this country, you would feel like we should, based off of that, have more shows with people of color or ethnic diversity. Like
this is gonna sound like really weird.
Like I'm not racist, but
you're outnumbered here.
I know.
You're on the show. God damn it.
Like me, I didn't realize for me being white and pop culture was relevant until representation for everyone else mattered.
Right.
Because to me it was just like, I'm a person.
Right.
These are people.
Exactly.
Now we're realizing it was mostly white men though, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. But I mean, everyone else is still people. My mind blown when people are like kicking back against that. I'm just like,
I think the issue though is simply the fact that
it's a weird thing to articulate. And if we've been doing this for almost a year now, and I'm still having a weird time articulating it, I can only imagine what's going through other people's minds.
I think the issue, though, becomes when you stop and realize, oh, there is only, like, one black character in that show. Or when you're like, oh, no, there are no fucking black Nintendo characters. Right. And you're like, you've made umpteen games with all kinds of weird pseudo-European, Japanese-looking people.
Well, there is one that I can think of just because my niece plays this. Yeah. The Splatoon character.
That's the one we were talking about. That's the
only one I can think of.
Yeah, that's the only one.
That's not even the default skin though.
No, I think that's Smash though. But I think in Splatoon there is like a DJ character. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, it was the DJ chick.
And then they're always the DJ chick. It's like, why can't we just get one black architect? You know what I mean? In the fucking show. Even Big Bang Theory, which went out of its way to be like representative, still didn't have a blurred.
Oh shit.
They didn't have a blur. They had an Indian nerd. Like, they did have a dark-skinned,
and they played up on that stereotype.
Oh, they played the shit out of that.
Exactly. It's terrible. It only... Once again, I think the issue is lack thereof. It's not the fact that the abundance of the other. It's like, with the acknowledgement of the abundance of that, why is there not more in this spectrum? Which is why we are now seeing movies like, you were talking about Annihilation. I was just watching...
What about, like, Powerpuff Girls? Like, Powerpuff Girls were always just like, yeah, we knew they were all girls, and they put it out every now and then, and they're like...
That's not true! I mean, the whole basis of Powerpuff Girls was that old, like, nursery rhyme thing, like sugar, spice, everything nice. These are the things little girls...
Yeah,
and they even went out of the way to make the Rowdy Rough Boys, right? We were made of snakes, snails, and puppy dogs.
The Rowdy Rough
Boys. The Rowdy Rough Boys were only thrown in... Alright, so... You can't tell me you didn't watch Powerpuff Girls and you didn't think they were fucking badass.
Well, yeah, but that's because they went out of their way to make a badass show that represents
that show
girls.
was good.
Yeah, but at the same time, to me, Powerpuff Girls, that was a superhero show.
Yeah, for sure.
No, absolutely. But it was a girl superhero show.
Yeah.
I mean, there were tons of, like, I watched fucking...
I think more, like, back when I was, like, I think it was, like, late high school, maybe... or late middle school, early high school, when Powerpuff Girls was at its, like, you know, its peak.
Yeah.
I feel like we were, like, talking about it on the bus when we were with a bunch of dudes. Like,
But it was one of those things where they didn't, and I feel like that's the media we got growing up, right? Where we had those strong representative characters, and
but,
it
like,
wasn't...
You didn't have to talk about that they were girls.
Yeah.
It wasn't heavy.
You know?
No.
I don't...
My favorite character in Avatar is Katara, which is why we have Katara right somewhere. She's up there.
But, like, can we talk... Alright, can we do, like, you know, strong female role that you... When you were growing up, you were like, oh, I like her, and, you know, she's a female, and, like, blah, blah, blah. Jill Valentine from Resident Evil.
Oh, absolutely.
I was like, I love this character. Like, she has this dress cool, like, she's got guns and shit, just killing zombies.
Bulma from Dragon Ball Z, right? Like,
Right.
I always hit on that because she was always constantly, like, firing back at the men.
We will
and
take no
owning
Bulma
her
slander.
space.
But you know, there are people on the other side who will be like, oh, Dragon Ball Z is misogynist. Look at Chi-Chi.
Yeah, I mean,
You know,
it's a, you know, one in hand.
but I 100%.
Chi-Chi's not... That's not a feminist thing. That's commentary on domestic... On poor domestic entanglements.
Right. Entanglements.
Well, what I was gonna say is when we were growing up, I feel like we were given the choice to, like, we were just given media and we were given the choice to choose whether we would watch it or not. Like, do y'all remember, like, Braceface and Totally Spies and shit like that? They would come on.
Totally Spies.
I remember Totally Spies.
Yeah, I would watch that shit. And
That was daytime TV.
Yeah, exactly.
That was
And
daytime Cartoon Network.
And I didn't feel
The
like
stuff that
I
was always
watching
on
a
after
girl
school,
show.
but you never knew when new episodes were actually on.
I
It
don't
was
think
just
I
always
remember
on.
that.
You don't remember Totally Spies?
How old are you guys?
I'm 28.
I'll be 31 in it.
Okay, so you guys are around my age. I'm 33, so...
Yeah, yep, so...
Holy Spies, this sounds... Oh, was it the 3...
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like almost like that Americanized anime style.
Yep.
I know exactly what
Yep.
you're talking about. Yep.
But my point is I feel like we were given shows, and it was like, you can either watch this or you can't. We're not gonna say it's a girl show, but it's
Right.
They were shows made for everybody.
Yeah.
And I bring this up all the time, but I feel like it's because the people that were making our media around that time grew up in the 70s, right? When we were getting, you know, women were getting more rights and stuff like that.
Right.
That's the, like, counterculture generation, was making media for us.
Right. And I feel like it almost flip-flopped for a little bit and then like came back and like...
No, you're right, because in the 2000s, like the early aughts, we started getting stuff like The Man Show and Spike
Oh
TV
my
and
God.
shit like that.
Yes.
Yeah, then it was, this is TV for men. We had G4, which was TV for gamers.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's right around the time when, like, the History Channel and stuff like that started turning into, like, Pawn Stars and Duck Dynasty and all that
Rip
stuff.
actual History Channel.
Ancient aliens and...
You know who owns them now? Disney.
Really?
Yeah.
The winners write the history books, everybody.
Disney
Break time!
I was like, yeah, I'm going 90s New York with this shit.
Right.
I'm channeling my inner Noriega.
You got the Timbos on, bro?
No, these are fucking lugs. Don't even.
Yo.
Look, I'm
Get
like,
your shine on.
yeah.
Yo,
Yeah.
Birdman with the. Did he own lugs?
Yeah. I think he owned a majority stake in lugs.
Right, and I remember
same
like
way
it
50
did well like
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah, no, thanks to fucking the source pushing this in like Double XL. It was like every other ad in fucking Double XL was a lugs ad. You know?
How much money do you think Birdman has, like net worth wise,
You want to see what Google,
legally and illegally?
Let's
you
see
know?
what Google says Birdman's net worth is.
He has to be stupid rich. I mean, he
Doing
had
it for a
Drake, Lil Wayne, Juvenile.
So Google has him, or CelebrityNetWorth.com has him at 100 mil, but I feel like Birdman
There's
is
no
easily
way.
worth 350.
Right, I'm thinking a half bill
Yeah.
because I'm sure he's
Like,
been in the grimy parts
feel
of
like-
money making for a long time too.
Exactly, yeah, and not all of them niggas' money is legal money.
No, dude, he has like a giant red yacht. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
$100 million is
And
gonna
that's
take
totally
a chunk of
his
that.
yacht. That's totally
Right,
his yacht. you
right.
know,
Because
like-
who else is gonna have a bright
Bright
red,
red yacht.
blooded out?
Literally
yacht?
talked about exactly this.
Did you actually talk about this?
No, we talked about like he was like, why are people obsessed with boating and everything? I'm just like, for the flex. He's like, it's 100% because of the flex.
It's like, look, I'm on like liquid on like.
Right. Look at my liquid castle.
Right. Like there's nothing more like.
Flex than owning a fucking yacht.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. It's like, I don't know. I had so much money and didn't really know what to do with it, so I bought a thing that floats on the water. And it's bigger than like 5 of your houses.
And you could like party on it. I think that's
Yeah.
the only thing you
No.
can do on a fucking yacht.
You're not fishing on that thing. Who the fuck is fishing? No, niggas own yachts.
You're not
that
opening
have
an
fishing boats
office
and-
building up.
Right. Like, yo, niggas own yachts that have fishing boats attached to them. So it's like, I took my yacht out to go fishing on my fishing boat.
Right, and you have to have a captain apparently
Yes,
for like
a whole
like
crew.
a huge one.
A
Like
whole
yeah.
crew. I was just looking at this, man, I found this. Look, I might have to see if I can find it later to show y'all, because if I ever get a yacht, it's gonna be this fucking yacht. But it needs year-round a 55-person crew. Year-round. So even when you're not using your yacht, you still have to employ 55 people to take care of your yacht. And when you go out, you still have to make accommodations for these 55 people on your yacht.
Did y'all ever see that Sacha Baron Cohen show on Showtime where he has his own characters? There's this one character where he's kind of like a.
You talking about Ali G?
It's not Ali G, but he has man, I gotta look it up. But he goes to a yacht rental place and he's like, okay, where can I keep the girls down in the he's like, could I do that? And the guy's like, yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
And it was like, you're like, what? It's like a
Yep.
hidden camera. Like,
Yo.
he's like showing how scummy these people
I
are.
love, that's what I was getting ready to say. I love that kind of shit, right? Because when you get rich, yo, and like you start just throwing that much money in people's faces, they're like, I don't give a fuck what you doing with this shit, yo. You just paid me $55,000 to rent this bitch for a day. Like, do what you want.
It's called Who Is America?
Mm.
It's good.
I might have to
It's
check
one
it
of
out.
those political like
Well, everything he does.
hit
right?
job shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's great.
What'd you think about the whole Rudy Giuliani thing?
I thought it was hilarious.
Did you see
Yeah.
the Borat?
I saw the movie. I didn't think the movie was like amazing, but I loved the Giuliani scene because it was so. When I watched Sacha Baron Cohen, I'm going in it like,
It's
all right, let's
definitely-
prepare for this shit.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
So-
It's something you watch when you want to torture yourself. You're like,
right? It's like
oh god, that hurt.
a Rob Schneider movie. You know.
Michael Cera also.
Nicolas Cage.
Dude, all right, hold up. No, he has a movie.
If you
Nicolas
can tell me-
Cage.
okay, hold on, wait. You can tell me you've watched a Nicolas Cage movie without cringing at least one time.
I know, but that's part of the fun. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's like there's this movie.
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, that I love those memes. It's like I'm not gonna drink tonight. I'm only gonna have like 1 or 2, and then it's like 2 hours later, I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence. Shit kills me every time. No, but check out the movie. I think it's called Mindy or Mandy.
Nicolas Cage?
Yes, with Nicolas Cage. It is super trippy. And I'll say there's a chainsaw fight in the movie. And that's all I'm gonna tell you.
Alright, cliffhanger. I have a couple quick hits of shit that happened throughout the week.
Let's talk about
Let's do
it.
Okay.
Open the floodgates.
Well, the flood is not the only thing that is flooding.
Blood.
Jim Belushi needs anime suggestions.
Yeah, no, earlier when you told me about this, it was like completely out of context, and I need an explanation for this.
So Jim Belushi watched some anime series or movie, and he was like, I absolutely loved it, and then tweeted out to Twitter for anime suggestions.
Oh, so he literally wants anime.
Literally wants anime suggestions.
That's great.
Wait, that actually happened?
Yeah, exactly, because one, I didn't know Jim Belushi was still alive, so shout out to that.
That's so weird.
Yeah, now you're looking at him and you're like, oh wow, this guy?
Right.
Wants anime
I needed to
suggestions?
see who it was first, just to make sure.
Yeah, Jim Belushi wants anime suggestions.
What anime did you watch?
I don't know, I suggested Hunter x Hunter.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
That's so strange.
I was not the only person to suggest Hunter x Hunter.
Should have recommended. What is it, Black Butler?
I'm trying to see what like his biggest movie. Oh, he was on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Like early ages, right?
Yeah, that's why he was like a part of that whole. I want to say.
Oh, was he? Oh, John Belushi was Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, what would Jim Belushi watch, bro?
Goblin Hunter.
Jim Belushi.
Oh, yeah. I don't
Apparently,
know.
a lot of people think anime and cannabis go together. I guess I'm set. That's from Jim Belushi.
Oh, right.
Oh, so that's what got him. I mean, look. Yeah, no, we were talking about Goblin Hunter earlier, and I was gonna mention.
No, this is it. Any
Devil
anime
May
fans
Cry
out
Baby.
there? I always love Studio
Dude.
Ghibli, and after I work with them, however, I don't know much else. But I just saw your name, and it blew me away. What is out there? Come on, some of you guys have to be nerds. Fess up. Jim
So you
Belushi
would-
wants anime suggestions.
I like to shock people when I show them anime. I like the most
You like to, yeah.
visceral shit. That's why when you said
The
Devil May Cry Baby.
Yo, that shit is so fucking wild, yo.
Dun 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 dun.
You be watching that shit and it's like it'll be like really endearing and the artwork is like
Yeah, it's, like,
amazing
fun
and
and
great,
hip,
and
yeah.
fun, and then the next thing you know there's like a fucking gay sex scene and then the dude gets like
Like
spoiler
ripped in
alert.
half and just drinking the blood and just
And
like.
I'm not talking about like no fucking like
Yeah, so Jim, watch that one.
and look, this sex scene wasn't like calm and like intimate. I mean, these niggas was like going
And it's like in the
at
club,
it.
in the bathroom, it's like, and then the dude with the blonde hair pulls out an Uzi and just starts spraying
Yo,
people.
I was like, what the fuck am I? Why? But I
Right.
love that about anime, right? I don't often get that with American cartoons. Like every now and again, like,
Lovecraft Country gave me the what the fuck
yeah.
is happening
Oh
with
my
that sex
God.
scene.
Yo, no, that shit. Like, okay, first of all,
Have you watched
I
Lovecraft Country?
didn't finish it yet.
no, look, all right, so I could handle that shit way more in a cartoon than I could handle that shit.
Yeah.
Like,
All right, what episode? Because I think I've seen up to episode 3 or.
Oh no, this was
Does it get wild?
yo. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So I saw a comparison that was like this show is like Twilight Zone meets like Black Twilight Zone meets Black Stranger Things, and I was like, that's the perfect description of this shit because
This is like demons and monsters.
and
like,
each
weird
episode
shit.
could be its own standalone story for the most part. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, they could totally take one episode and play like a whole season based around like what that episode. That's when I was saying I felt like
but
the
the
show
exploding
is
sex scene, you'll
Yeah.
know what we're talking about when it happens.
That's sexy.
Yes.
Is that when they're all like being like hypnotized into thinking they're having sex with somebody?
Nope.
No.
You will know exactly what we're
Okay.
talking
No,
about.
so you haven't. I don't want to spoil the show for you, yo, because in order to explain what the fuck he just said, I would have to.
We don't have to spoil it for him. He will know.
All right, I'll
All right,
I'll check it out.
Just the what the fuck moments. In real life, the exploding sex scene.
Yeah. Montrose's whole storyline is a giant what the fuck moment. Like,
Truth.
You've met his Tick's dad, right? Like, you're far enough.
Yeah, it's a dude with the scar.
Yeah, it's Omar.
Yeah, Omar, yeah.
Michael K.
Michael K. Williams.
Yeah.
Yo, his whole storyline is like fucking wild. But that's another one where I was like, yeah. I'm not.
You'll get to that.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it.
We'll have you back on after you finish Lovecraft
I
Country.
need to finish it, yeah.
Okay. So, Joey Chestnut in the Coney Island hot dog eating contest, he broke the record with 75.
75.
75 hot dogs, I think, in whatever. Is it 10 minutes? No, it's got to be less than that. I don't know. It's a revolting
Is that
number.
with bread or with...
Yes, with.
Oh my
You've never seen them? They
dude.
dunk the bread in the water.
Yeah, they like dip it
Yeah,
and like...
that fucking Kobayashi
75 hot
shit.
dogs.
Dude, that like makes me sick to my stomach.
Oh, yeah, it's revolting. It's completely disgusting.
But like, have you noticed some of these guys are actually like fit dudes? Like,
That's what Kobayashi. The nigga Kobayashi was like Dan size, yo. And it's like the way he eats, like competitively eats, you'd be like, there's a fucking black hole in your stomach. There's gotta be. What did you just do to that pizza, yo? Like, oh my, like.
right? How do you like when I eat a whole pizza? You know, back when I was, you know, little thick boy. You know what I'm saying?
Look,
I would eat a whole pizza and like look down at my stomach like, how the fuck
you feel
is
like
this
shit
in here?
afterwards, right? You'd be like, oh my god, like, why did I do that?
Right, and
Just-
then all that bread just keeps expanding and like, dude, 75 hot dogs.
I would want to die after.
75.
in 10 minutes, yep. 75 hot dogs in
How many
10
is that?
minutes.
What's the? How
Break
many is
that
that? Break that down.
That's
That is
too
more than
bad.
7 hot dogs a minute.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
That is more than 7 hot dogs a
It's
minute.
literally. Yeah, that's probably the cadence of hot
It's
dog eating.
7.5 hot dogs a minute.
That is ridiculous.
So wait, hold
I
on.
don't want to train to do that.
No, you
It's
why?
mad
No,
impressive.
No, you don't.
Like, I wonder if like his stomach just is like doesn't
Yeah,
close
yeah,
anymore.
you'll trade all out through quarantine, and you'll show up in Tsunami again. You'll be like, hey, yeah, you know, I can eat 76 hot dogs in 10 minutes. See what kind of reaction that'll get out of people from
I
you.
wonder how much money he makes on something like that. You know what I mean?
Yo, when I googled him, the first thing that popped up was his net worth, and I didn't even bother to look at
Because
it.
you know, today's the age of like TikTok. Everybody's on TikTok.
It's all about the
Not
spectacle
me.
again.
Not me.
No.
But like everybody's like, oh, they're making money.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I can make money doing TikTok.
exactly.
Oh, they're on YouTube. You know what I mean? It's like we're at this like weird point. Like it's like we always gotta ask, well, how much money they make for doing it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
By the way, we have a Patreon now, everybody.
ooh, nice plug.
He did. That was smooth. as shit.
Yeah, that was smooth.
No, but
Hey, gotta
That
eat.
shameless self-promotion.
yeah.
Gotta eat.
But that's the gig economy that we live in, right? Because
Yeah.
everybody's trying to find a way to make a living,
Right.
and not just work paycheck to paycheck because they won't fucking raise the minimum wage and shit to a livable wage.
What does 4chan call that? Wage slaving? No one wants a wage slave, you know. That's
Yeah.
why we like these side gigs, you know what I mean?
Yeah, nobody wants to be tied down to a fucking clock anymore. You know what I
Right.
mean?
And this is just a reminder that the Flood Pod is brought to you by absolutely no one. And if you use our sponsor code, not sponsored for shit anywhere, it will not work for anything.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm practicing so for when we do get a sponsor.
Right.
I have the cadence
Yeah,
down.
you got it down. You know, just plug it in, you know, just drag and drop.
We'll be ready. My body is ready.
Man, I
My
bet.
mind is ready.
All right, a couple other quick hits. So, you must have saw this in the group chat, but there were some distilleries that were, after
man.
COVID happened, getting fined by using their distillery to make hand sanitizer?
Wait, they weren't allowed to do that?
No, because apparently they would have to like qualify themselves as a pharmacy. So then they
Wait,
got.
you had to. So I didn't think that was a part of it. I thought it was like there's
I thought people were like, they're helping out and like,
Well, I thought maybe
Well, that
there
was
were
the intent.
regulations
Right.
that hadn't been followed. You know, like like you got to switch this.
No, they
over
had to like
that,
qualify
and, like,
themselves as like a pharmacy or something like that.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
See, this is why when libertarians are like, "There's too much regulation," I'm like, "Well, I can see your argument
Right,
for certain
yeah,
things.
sure,
Like,
sure.
what the fuck is that about?" And that's talking about securing the fucking bag because the government is like, oh, we about to give all these people $600 checks, like, and Donald still wants his fucking wall. This is ridiculous, yo. Like,
Bitcoin hit $30,000 for the first time ever.
35 today.
35.
I think it was 35 today. I love crypto. I'm in it.
Oh, yeah?
Dogecoin!
You think it's worth it? You really think it's the wave?
I've made some money. Not making money right now.
No, but I mean, do you think, like, the real crypto extremists, do you feel like it's going to replace the dollar at a certain point?
Man, that's a tough one. Eventually, yes.
You do think
within our lifetime.
You think so?
I think so. I think it'll probably still be called the U.S. dollar, but it wouldn't be backed by gold.
No.
You know what I mean? I don't know. It's like one of those things.
Yeah, because the market is so volatile. Even what crypto is like
Dogecoin.
I used to own some Dogecoin.
I own 54 Dogecoins right now. I've made 11 cents on Dogecoin.
I wonder,
since
because when I bought it, it was like sub cents. Like it was like
it's over a cent now.
Are you kidding me? I'd probably be a fucking millionaire if I
it's
held my
over a cent right
Dogecoin
now.
from like 2012
See,
or
that's
2011.
What I'm talking about the market for this crypto is so volatile.
Dogecoin's over a cent.
That makes me sick to my stomach. That makes me absolutely. I think fucking Bitcoin hit over 35,000. The high was 34,789. Jeez.
So this really is looking
I remember
out
I had
to be
some,
like the gold rush.
I literally had someone with like 50 to 100 bucks. I hate this shit. It's like,
did I just give you the worst news?
Yeah, it's rough
My
seeing
man definitely blew his day though.
because like I'm seeing these prices go up from like 2 weeks ago it was like 15,000 of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I'm like seeing this, and I'm like, that's the high. I'm not buying because it's just gonna drop from here.
Yeah.
And then it's like at 35,000. Like,
yeah, and you're like,
I don't know if you saw my Facebook. It was like waiting for Bitcoin's dip, and I'm just like the Key and Peele sweating gif. You know what I'm saying? Y'all call it GIF or GIF?
GIF.
Okay. Yeah.
Everyone else
Y'all are
is exiled.
civilized human beings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we are. We are refined.
Right. Your people call it GIF.
Yeah, I'm like, this is not peanut butter. Get the fuck out of here.
Yes. Yeah,
some men like ass. Some men like tits. Some men like women that say GIF.
Ooh.
Him with his limericks.
Yeah, before we move off Bitcoin, buy low, please. Do not buy right now because that shit might drop.
But that's the point that I keep trying to make. The whole reason I haven't even bothered to really invest mind space in this whole cryptocurrency is the market is volatile.
Right.
I put 44 cents into Dogecoin, and now I have, I think, 61 cents in Dogecoin.
It's a gold rush, on
Ziggy forgets about it. 10 years later, he's a multi-millionaire, you know.
That's how it worked, though.
And Dogecoin's fucking worth like 100,000 each.
If it works out like that.
Hey, shit.
Or you could be
That's how some people worked out for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I had that Charizard that was just sitting in a box, and then I sold for $350. 2 hours on Facebook Marketplace to a guy in Michigan.
Who bought it for... Which one of the Paul brothers bought that shit for, like...
Oh, yeah, no. Look, it was probably...
We've touched a couple of times recently on high dollar transactions of shiny cardboard.
And how they're money laundering schemes.
Yeah, it's actually just money laundering, really.
That makes a lot of sense.
I mean, if you put it
like cryptocurrency.
Yeah, exactly.
If you put it simply, like, if I, hypothetically here now, Ted, rob a bank for 10,000 in cash, as Doc Space drops as I say this, and then go
rob a bank though. Who's robbing a bank in 2020? You
right,
the rob
cameras.
The bank. You hack the bank, genius.
But then that would make
Virtually
Inside Man a
Robin.
bad movie. And Clive Owen's too good of an actor for that.
I love Clive Owens.
Me
Yo, what
too.
was that movie he did? Shoot 'em up.
I love that movie.
Yo, that movie was so
Children
great.
of Men.
No, that movie
Children
was
of
so
Men was
great because it was such a like.
It was a farce. It was totally.
It was totally a farce,
Shoot 'em
but it
up?
also had like two amazing actors. Yeah, shoot 'em up.
Isn't that like a really goofy like
Yeah, it's
action movie?
Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's
a
a
farce
way
of an
over
action
the
movie.
top.
Yeah.
way over
There's like a
casted.
Yeah.
sex scene where he like murders people like
While
they're
he's-
having sex and they're like
Yeah, while he's driving. Exactly.
Oh no!
And that's what I was
It's
like.
Clive Owen versus Paul
Delete that
Giamatti.
scene, by the way, of me humping and shooting at the same time.
Paul Giamatti is the villain. Like,
Oh, dude, Sneaky Pete. Is that the guy? Did y'all ever watch that on Amazon?
No, I don't think so.
man, I
actually
thought about
pretty good.
Shoot 'em Up recently too, and I want to watch that again now.
Paul, are you pulling them up?
Sneaky Pete. I'm looking up Sneaky Pete.
Is that him? No,
No,
that's Giovanni.
Rebus is
Rebus.
the character's name.
I heard Giovanni.
Yep. I mean, you were.
I mean, like Big Team
you
Rocket.
were in the ballpark.
Oh shit, bro! Did we ever see Giovanni's? Yeah, of course. I'm kidding.
All right, next quiz hits. Mitch McConnell's house was vandalized. Fuck him, and fuck him again.
And
Sorry, bro.
well
Sucks
deserved.
to suck.
I said it, Ted. You know what? Yeah. Fuck it. Fuck Mitch McConnell. I hope he crawls into his shell and dies.
Speaking of other Ted Cruz is starting a coalition to challenge Biden's victory
Fuck
in
him
the
too. I
Senate.
hope he chokes on his own dick.
Yeah,
Oh
fuck
my
him too.
God, bro. Ooh.
Go down with the ship.
God, that fucking.
Right. So if like,
He looks like a Muppet. Have you ever thought about that? Like Ted Cruz totally looks like a fucking bad puppet. Like.
but like, wasn't Ted Cruz like
Fucking
super
conscious.
anti-Trump at first? Well,
Yes.
he ran against him.
Yeah, absolutely. All of them.
All of them
fucking
were. All of them were.
I think maybe Mitch McConnell might have been one of the only ones who was like, because he wasn't running for president at the time.
My biggest fear is the Trump children will run.
I've thought about that a lot, right? Like, what happens if Ivanka runs, or even Jared, right? Like, because I feel like Jared may have more of a strong ground in the fascist
I think he's the one.
ideology.
Yeah, he's the one that I think would run. I think he had like some banner. I don't know if it was like a meme or something, but he had like a 2024
Yeah,
Trump 2024, and it was. I don't know if it was for him
right.
or it was for.
But what I'm worried about is what we're going to talk about a little bit later, is that the information bias and like the confirmation bias has gotten so strong on that end now that he has created he's created a monster that he can't control
That
anymore.
nobody wants as you want.
Or that Russia can't
They want
control.
change.
By the way, I don't know if you guys watched season 2 of The Boys, but they touch into that. We'll get back to it once we
Okay.
get back to that
Yeah.
subject.
Okay.
All right.
Sissies.
Well, I guess we'll have to do it now.
Is it time to get into the heavy shit?
Rest in peace to the great MF Doom.
I feel like we should
One
let
beer,
this a moment of silence.
Only one beer left. Rapper screaming all up our ears like we're deaf.
Tragic. 2020 just had to, take another one before it went out.
Crazy.
Now,
Well, apparently he died in like October.
Yeah.
On Halloween.
And I found that, and I'm like, they're just now, I guess, they had to go through like the grieving, and they decided to go through the grieving process their way before they released it to the media and all that, which also just plays into Doom's whole like anonymity.
Right.
Like, he never was a spectacle. And I don't know, I say that, but I'm like, the idea of his persona is a spectacle. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was hard to find like pictures of him. I wanted to see his face.
Yeah.
Like, because I never looked it up before. I always just knew he was like a dude with a Doom mask on.
Yeah,
you
he
know
was
what
a
I mean?
character. He was a character rapper, but he was like.
I wanted to see like the real like.
He leaned so much into the character that like it wasn't even about him at a certain point. Like the persona had become its own entity.
And he had the samples at the end
Yeah.
of the songs with like the old like Fantastic Four
Exactly.
stuff.
Yeah, and he used to do shit like send impersonators to concerts in his place. Like you would never know it wasn't him performing unless like it was a really bad impersonator. people don't really care about like the dude under the mask. It's about the persona. Like,
Right.
We just want to see the guy that raps with the fucking mask on, and it makes grieving his passing weird because we don't really know anything about the dude.
Right. Yeah, because I wanted to humanize him when I learned, because I come from that Adult Swim generation who were like, you watch Adult Swim, you probably heard of MF Doom, and you were in that kind of that weird alternative nerdy culture, you listen to that.
You'd seen the Mad Libs characters,
right.
the fuzzy bear looking thing.
And I say Adult Swim generation. I'm not saying he had any type of. I don't know if he ever did promos on Adult Swim.
He actually did their Christmas specials.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
It was Adult Swim. It was Adult Swim Christmas with MF Doom.
That's right, dude. And I knew
And he would
for
just
some reason
he would get completely just
I forgot all about
blasted on camera, and
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And I knew there was some association I was having with Adult Swim and MF Doom.
His whole style, though, that whole backpack rap, the way.
Yes, and I was looking for a word for that, on the way up
the
here.
Adult Swim promo beats.
Yeah,
the lo-fi mindset.
Exactly.
right,
Yeah.
the backpack rap era, and
that vibe.
Not soul. I wouldn't call it soul rap.
No,
No,
but
that
it's
whole vibe.
It was
Yeah.
hip hop, yo. It was,
Yeah, it was-
chronicle
yes.
hip hop.
That whole vibe is something that we hear as a pod, and me especially in the editing booth really try to bring about. When I first thought about putting this podcast together, I was just thinking I wanted to I just want to sound like we're talking over an Adult Swim bump.
Yeah, that.
And that's
I can tell you guys were raised at night
yeah.
by Adult Swim.
Absolutely, yeah. All kids out of the pool.
yeah.
It's time for Adult Swim.
But yeah, that's
You were talking about
That's
HBO
our-
Max.
the
That
whole,
shit is
low-
on HBO Max.
MF Doom was a pretty good just embodiment of just the lo-fi generation.
I would say he was one of the forebearers of that whole aesthetic. Yo.
Yeah,
Right,
just
for sure.
lo-fi hip hop, still embracing
Yeah, it's
nerdy
kinda
culture.
That's what. Yeah,
And
even the whole skateboard
something-
culture kind of embraced.
Because I was listening to some his older stuff and his more recent stuff.
He's very
Yeah.
anybody who's into Doom. This is the better way to say it. Anybody who's into Doom can get along with anybody. Not saying that anybody can get into Doom.
I feel like you're right. There's kind of a personality you have to have
Yeah, totally.
to probably why we're doing the,
Yeah.
you guys have me on and we all kind of have the same even if you didn't listen to Doom, he wasn't on your mixtapes and
Right,
stuff
yeah.
back in the day all the time. If you've heard about him, you're probably into this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or you've heard dudes that are influenced by Doom and the rhyme style. Because Doom and Jay
Oh, for sure.
Dilla are a classic comparison.
Yeah.
They're a team that have worked together on all kinds of shit. And that whole, like I said,
and we can never forget that Doom, while as great as he was still able to just spit bars.
Dude, I never heard the song until I was riding up here. That song, Cookie,
Yeah.
Oh,
with a K,
yes.
where he's just rapping about some snacks and shit.
Yeah,
I was like, this shit is fire.
Yeah, and it's one of those solid moments where it's oh yeah, rap doesn't always have to be about the braggadocious kind of shit.
Right.
Sometimes this shit does have that, and he
Rap
perfectly.
stitches, tell them all their business, sit in the court and be their own star witness.
Okay.
Crazy bars. Crazy bars. Rest in peace to the man villain.
Yes,
He was
for
definitely
sure.
rap's anti-hero, yo. He
Yeah.
was so he was so the opposite of what mainstream rap is. He was the
He
hero.
truly was your favorite rapper's favorite rapper.
He was the hero of underground rap. He was the champion of
Facts,
underground
yes.
rap.
You see? Sometimes it's a good thing that I'm neurotic and write everything down. We just left on talking about Doom, but I wanted to talk about the importance of Doom adopting the Doom persona.
Dr. Doom! Gosh, I wish I'd brought my autograph book.
Your attempts at humor bore me, Spider-Man. Fortunately, I won't have to listen to them much longer.
Right, Leadhead, because I'm gonna stop you right here and now.
You never learn, do you?
And I also wanted to tie into that the idea of which sounds more appealing. To be famous or to be famous in anonymity. AKA, like, Banksy. You can go anywhere without a mask like Banksy. Nobody will know it's Banksy, but Banksy will know that it's Banksy. If Banksy goes up and asks somebody, what do you think of Banksy? They'll tell them what it is they think about Banksy. Right to Banksy's face, not thinking that it's Banksy. MF Doom. I couldn't tell you what MF Doom looked like without his mask. But I know what MF Doom looks like with his mask.
Right.
I know everything that I associate with MF Doom with his mask. But I also saw a video on Twitter of Ben Affleck trying to carry Dunkin' Donuts into his house because it was Ben Affleck. And he was trying to carry Dunkin' Donuts into his house.
Content, man. It's good content. Ben Affleck carrying donuts.
So that's my point.
So I got to thinking about this. I want to hear what you had to say, but I mean, I got to thinking about this, and it just made me think about the importance of masks when it comes to notoriety. Like, take the ending of Iron Man, for example. When Tony Stark comes out and says, "No, I am Iron Man." Like, he's owning the persona. So I feel like at its core, what your argument really, or what the discussion really here is do you let your notoriety get in the way of your art? Like, do you become your art, or does your art become you? And which one is better?
I think that's the difference between, like, someone, like, a good artist and a bad artist. Because,
Right.
like,
I'm even thinking about just, like, would I rather live as a famous person, or would I rather live as a famous person knowing that all of the work that everybody appreciates, I can't personally get any appreciation for.
Well, but then there's the discussion of, do you think people would appreciate Banksy's art as much if they knew who Banksy was? The same thing about Doom, right? Like, if Doom wasn't the guy behind the mask,
I would say they absolutely wouldn't care as much. But the only reason is because of Banksy's choice to choose to rather to live in famous anonymity than in true fame.
But what if Basquiat had pulled a Banksy? Do you think Basquiat would be as appreciated today as he is now? If we didn't know who Jean-Michel Basquiat is? I mean, part of his art was his pain as a person, and knowing him allowed us to empathize and appreciate his art more.
Exactly.
So,
but both things, Banksy choosing to keep himself anonymous versus Basquiat pouring himself out on the canvas, are both different sides of, would you rather live in fame and fully expose yourself, or would you rather live in fame and anonymity and do all of this work and get no good job, you did really good on that, appreciation.
But what I'm saying to you is the longevity factor here, right? Because at a certain point, Banksy may fade out of the picture, and his art may be what's famous.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Whereas we will always know that that is a Basquiat painting. Like, there are people who see Banksy's art today and have no idea that that's Banksy's art. They just think it's another, like, piece of graffiti from another random artist on the side of a wall somewhere.
Well, not anymore, but people immediately sent art, like...
I guarantee you there are still Zoomers out there that don't know, like, where half of that, like, the shit on their t-shirts come from. You know what I mean? Like, the same way we were hanging posters of, like, Che Guevara up in our fucking rooms and shit. We had no idea. How many people do you know with a Grateful Dead poster that would never listen to Grateful Dead?
Alright.
I just never bought the poster because I knew I had no intention of listening to the Grateful Dead.
Right.
That's the thing with, like, the 70s artists, though. Like, before, like, TV and shit like that, and we didn't care so much about what the artist looked like, just the music. You hear tons of people's songs now and don't know who the fuck they are.
Yeah, because music today, man. Ooh.
So it's like, at what point, what's more important to you? Is you being famous more important, or is your art being timeless more important?
It's like all these new like SoundCloud era like.
Yeah, these this generation's one-hit wonders.
But they all like that. They want that like that clout and that like
that notoriety.
Yeah.
You go with the Iron Man comparison. We'll take a real simple one. Iron Man being like, I am Tony Stark and I am Iron Man versus Bruce Wayne, who won't tell anybody he's Batman. Whose life is easier?
Honestly, I don't think whose life is easier. I guess Stark. Probably be easier.
I would say Stark's life is easier.
For sure.
And his rogues gallery definitely isn't as psychotic as Batman's. That's for sure. And I mean, God knows if
But whose life is easier based on their decision?
And then you have the problem of like, especially nowadays, if you say something stupid, then all your art is bad.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
There's that.
All art bad.
Yeah. By the way, this little white ball records everything that we say.
Oh.
Just letting you know.
Well, that's news to me. You guys didn't tell me we'd be recording this. God damn. Speaking of
I think
recording,
those look pretty sick though.
That's why, I mean, I don't know if you've tried. I haven't tried recently, but I don't think you can stream R. Kelly on Spotify anymore.
Yeah, because like I'm not gonna lie, I used to love some like
Factory trapped in a closet.
Right, like it was like guilty pleasure, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It was one of them things.
Because
I've worked a lot of weddings. I've heard Ignition a lot.
Yeah, he bridged the gap between like the old heads and the new heads.
Yeah,
and, you know.
It was definitely that old R&B coming to meet that like new school era attitude.
I'll never.
I love the movie Space Jam. You best believe I sang that song.
I believe I can fly.
I believe I can touch the sky.
I just sang that in church when I was in choir.
Damn. Do you think they're still singing it in churches?
What'd you say?
I said, you think they're still singing R. Kelly in churches?
If they do,
depends on the church.
I wonder what type of church that is.
Right. God. But yeah, to your argument, I guess it ultimately boils down to what's more important to you. You being acknowledged for your expression, or I guess just your expression existing.
Man, that's a tough one, dude.
Yeah.
Welcome to the flood.
Dude, because that's like
we get existential as fuck.
Man, because I know myself, and I'm too like I would want people to know it's my shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know.
I don't want to be looked at as one of those. I don't know. Like I always looked at myself as like awful comparison, but the Ted Turner type. Like it's like you so much influence, but it's like only those who really know that Ted Turner is behind like the media empire that we have today.
I'd probably want to be like the Dave Grohl, Andre 3000 kind of famous.
Oh, where
they just kind of show up,
yeah,
and everybody fucking loves them, but then they still have that like air of mystery to them.
Right, because
they keep themselves out of the spotlight enough to not get in trouble.
But I agree with that a lot. Because then you're not like always under a microscope either. If you're like Andre, like where the fuck is Andre? And where's our?
We don't need to know exactly what Andre is doing right now. Right. Andre will tell us what he's doing when he's doing something that matters.
But I feel like those are artists who have managed to find the separation between art and their personality.
Right.
They didn't make the brand about them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whereas like Kanye is his
brand. Yes.
You know what I mean?
The mark of craftsmanship is sports.
Oh my god! Right, I didn't even think that's mind blowing.
You will never be able to separate Kanye from his music. But you can listen to, in a couple of years, there will be, I guarantee you now, there are kids listening to Outkast songs and Andre 3000
My
songs.
niece, who's 15 years old, loves Outkast.
Doesn't know anything
No, she's like, oh, this is Outkast. She knows exactly, like, I'll turn on Outkast.
That's dope, though. That's
amazing. Well, she has a great taste in music. She's the one who put me on Thundercat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm like, she's a Zoomer, but, you know, And I've noticed some Zoomers do have good taste in music.
Oh yeah, no, lots of them are a hit. I feel like they are just.
I mean, we're just blown away that like the Zoomer Jimi Hendrix is Billie Eilish, who looks to the '90s for inspiration. Like,
they're just more exaggerated versions of what we were growing up.
Yeah,
They just looked at.
they love Gorillaz. Apparently, Gorillaz is like huge in the Zoomer like.
But
generation.
they like that blurred genre shit. They're all about blurring the lines of like conformity and shit.
Right.
To the
which the
point
Gorillaz
where-
are basically the perfect example of.
Yeah. I mean, look at Billie Eilish.
De
You
La
can't
Soul
necessarily
working with
put her-
fucking Damon Albarn.
You can't put Billie Eilish in a category for real. I mean, you can't call her specifically pop. You can't call her pop rock. She, the same
I
thing with
couldn't even
Uzi
tell
Vert.
you, dude. All right, I love Uzi Vert. I don't know what it is. I guess it's like I'm like looking at him like, man, if he like came out back when I was in high school, I would have fucked with him hard. He's like wearing trip pants, and I'm like, I didn't fuck with trip pants, but like he was wearing the trip pants.
It's the grunge aesthetic.
Yeah,
it was that
it's
thing
like-
that.
Like you
Speaking
played me
for
the
my
song.
delegation.
You played me the song last night, and you were like, "Yeah, you can hear like the weekend and everything." And I closed my eyes and I listened to it, and I'm like, "No, this is a PJ Harvey song."
Yeah, that was God. Now you're gonna make me look up that artist, but I feel like that a lot of like Travis Scott, Kanye tried to jump in on it. They're playing with that grunge aesthetic because that's what we grew up like. That was the counterculture on the opposite end of the aisle, and we were kind of like gatekeeped out of that.
Right.
And now that this generation totally is like, no, fuck that. Everything is one. Like, so they're blurring that grunge rock with that grimy trap hip hop shit.
Scene and you remember Scene Kids,
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
emo kids.
Yep.
Recovering
They're-
one myself.
They're literally coming back. Like it's like my niece, like
Yeah.
she's a character, but she's like always talking about like, oh yeah, he's emo, and like this is the emo kid, and blah 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 blah.
Well,
seeing
fucking
this and that.
XXX
I'm like,
Tentacion,
I was like, I thought that
like-
shit died in like the early 2000s.
No,
They
fucking
listen to my
Early 2010s.
Early
2010s.
2010s. I'm sorry.
all
yeah.
these new rappers are emo as fuck, yo. Like the look from, like I said, your XXX Tentacions to your Trippie Reds
She loved-
to your
she loves both
Denzel
of them.
Curry.
Yeah.
Like all these rappers, they're super introspective now. Remember when we were growing up, rappers didn't talk about.
Oh, so you
their
getting beat up
feelings.
listening to that
Yo.
soft shit.
Exactly. We listened to that hard, grimy
Right.
New York.
Bro, you remember that song? Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun. I made a Destiny 2 montage to that song.
Yeah.
Because I was like, yo, what is the hardest song of all time?
Annie up, Jack.
Right, right.
Like, no, fuck that. We thought we were gonna die before we were 26, so we just had to live it out. We wasn't gonna let nobody stuff on our shoes.
We just listen to the most aggressive
Yes.
shit ever.
Yes, hardcore.
They don't do that now.
No, it's all about. Like, I saw a post that was like, rappers when I was growing up sold drugs. Rappers nowadays take drugs. Like,
Right.
yo, it's all about popping pills and fuck my life and all this shit is meaningless. They're nihilistic in an entirely different way now. Like, we were like head
Zig,
on.
did you listen to like hardcore back then? I mean,
Yeah, of course I did.
yeah, I was about to say, like, we all, like, regardless of what,
We were listening
like,
to it.
you know,
what
we were
genre.
listening to, it was all kind of like
Yeah,
a little,
aggressive and like.
But yeah, like
But I mean, growing up in the suburbs, I was exposed to all of that shit, like that Green Day, like that. Fucking...
oh yeah, dude, man.
anybody who says that Green Day sucks, no, they suck. Green Day rocks.
Remember,
Trust me, I was very contrarian about them in middle school.
Fucking remember Good Charlotte?
But just remember,
because Charlie, they're from it.
Yeah, they're from here.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what I'm
They're
saying.
from
Like
here.
that Good Charlotte generation.
stop being a contrarian twat. Green Day rocks. I just had to get that out.
Remember when that Godzilla, what was it, Godzilla 2000? Was it Green Day who had that song, or was it?
Oh gosh.
I know Diddy had a song with the Godzilla. It was the Come With Me song. Y'all remember that? That was like my first tape, I think. Cassette tape.
I mean, I'm looking at this board, and you said, come with me, and I'm just thinking,
Come with me.
Hail Mary, baby, run quick, see.
No, not that. It was like, it was, it's a classic rock song. Forgive me, I'm not a big classic rock guy.
You're good,
But it's
you're
like,
good.
Come with me. Oh god, I gotta look it up now. Dude.
Yeah,
That's a Led Zeppelin song.
Yes, yes, it is. Pete Diddy did a song. It was Puff Daddy back then, but
Oh my god, I know
wait,
exactly.
hold on. I think this is it. Of course, this fucking Liberty Mutual ad.
dude, I had to get YouTube Premium.
I had it
I
for
had
the
to.
longest time when it was mixed with Google Play, and then when they came out with YouTube Music, they stopped bundling the shit with Google Play because they wiped that shit out. I can't even access my Google Play.
That's it.
Yeah, this is
Oh,
definitely.
I do remember this shit.
It was like Godzilla. I'm like 13. It's like, yeah, man, this is sweet. You know. But that was like, I love Mace and like, you know, Biggie.
Oh yeah, no,
and,
absolutely, son. I was a huge
So when I
Mace
heard
fan.
that shit-
Yeah. Bad Boy in general, yo. Bad Boy in the 2000s, man, late 90s.
But bro, when I got to like late middle school, Cash Money
Yeah.
was
yeah,
my shit.
Cash
I
Money was-
still listen to old Cash Money. Like it
So you was on that down south trend then?
I loved it. Because I come from like the No Limit era.
Yeah, okay,
Like
okay.
my cousins
Master
listen to like
P.
Masterpiece, Silky Shocker,
Oh god,
Mystical, Silky Shocker.
Def Jam vs. Capcom.
Dude, yes. Please make that happen, Capcom. Drop the Marvel Disney stuff. It's over. Just pick up Def Jam. That would be the sickest shit ever.
Oh my god.
And make the Deadpool Christmas movie.
Ooh.
Oh no, we talked about this. It's actually just going to be Deadpool going through time portals, following Samuel L. Jackson through all of his movies.
Ooh, that would be actually kind of sick.
But
We call it the House of L.
Isn't X-Force supposed to be playing with the time travel like thing? The X-Force movie?
I don't know. All I know is the Spider-Man movie is going to open Pandora's box with all of that.
Well, if they do X-Force, they already have the cast that they killed in Deadpool 2.
I
They're
haven't
just
actually
gonna.
seen Deadpool 2.
Oh, you gotta watch it. It has Juggernaut.
No. Alright.
Juggernaut's the coolest fucking villain, right? The coolest X-Men villain ever.
I'm going to go with Magneto. I still like Magneto more.
It's why I
don't know
love
if
Juggernaut.
Magneto gets cool points though. Like Magneto's definitely an iconic villain.
Man, you know why I fell in love with Juggernaut?
Why?
X-Men versus Street Fighter, and that whole Versus series,
Mm-hmm.
dude. He is just huge, and
Yeah.
he's just like
Take
he just
up
like
the
belly
fucking
slaps
screen.
on people and just like punches into the ground. It's like whole arms in the ground. He's just like walking at you like that. And when he wins, that's how ignorant this nigga is, right? When he wins, he'll walk over to you and just stomp on your character and be like, "Oh!" It's the greatest shit ever, man. That's where I fell in love with the Juggernaut. Was that game? That and Marvel's Capcom 2. Sentinels in that shit. Nasty. Did y'all ever play? Were y'all
Of course,
Marvel?
I mean, yeah, I definitely played Marvel vs. Capcom too.
No,
I was never good
I'm
at
thinking
it.
about. I'm
Like, the
reminiscing
first-
about
the first
all that
fighting
I
shit.
thought I was good at it because I always played my
fighting
homie.
game,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Like,
so you
I
play that
play
shit competitively.
Soul
online.
Calibur 2 I'm good at.
Bro, the best Soul Cal, hands down.
Yes.
Is that the one with Link
Yeah.
on GameCube
Yeah.
and Xbox and PlayStation?
Xbox has Spawn. Fuck that version. Fuck that character.
No,
And
fuck you.
PlayStation has...
Spawn is the fucking
Who did
man.
play-
Are you
PlayStation
kidding
has-
me? Spawn would shoot one necroblast at you, and you would lose a quarter of your life.
That's the
if
fucking
you
point, 'cause
were
it's
blocking.
It's Spawn.
Yeah, Link was dope in that because he had like arrows and bombs and boomerangs and shit.
And yet the butterfly net.
But I
was the
remember
best
he was
weapon.
kind of ass.
Butterfly net would make him OP.
Dude,
Raphael was busted in that one.
Kalik, Raphael, and Maxi. Fuck all
People
those
okay.
guys.
always used to hate on me. They hate on me. They're like, you play Raphael? I bet you just go, ha ha ha. And I'd be like, alright, fine. Watch me juggle lock you. Watch me ground lock you.
I was playing somebody at MagFest. I don't know if you guys ever been to MagFest.
I went to MagFest. I went last year. I just didn't meet up with y'all. Because you were with Josh and all them, right?
Yeah, I was with Josh
Yeah.
and everybody. And I was playing SoulCal against this chick. She was using Kalik. And I'm like, I'm pretty confident in my Siegfried. You know, I played the game. Dude, I couldn't fucking win one goddamn match. And I was like, yo, Kalik is so busted. Painting me up and down, bro.
Yep. I used to hate that.
Ah, man.
You get hit by one poke, and people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna get poked again." Good Killick's like,
And it's like Matt, like the damage he does was crazy.
That poster.
I don't even remember how we got this okay.
oh yeah, no, I was saying the only fighting game can say that I've ever worked at trying to be good is Smash Ultimate, except for probably Soul Calibur 2.
You know, there's people out there who say Smash isn't a fighting game. How do you feel? How do you feel about? I believe it's a fighting game.
Yeah, I feel like just
because
core dynamics, right?
Just because like you don't have to input like, I mean, some characters.
What's their argument? It's a platformer.
Right, like how do you?
Right, yeah. If it's not a fighting game, then
if it's not a fighting game, what is it? Like there were people who are like pissed it's at Evo. It's like I don't understand. Like, what are you trying to gatekeep here, buddy?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I make the joke that when I play Richter, I feel like I'm playing Castlevania and not Smash. Right. So I guess if you want to call it a platformer, that would make sense.
But you're fighting other people. Exactly. You know what I mean? I don't understand that. Like
maybe an action adventure game, but it's like even then, like.
But like you're like.
Let's just put it in the
literally fighting
category.
Someone else so they can like lose.
Essentially, it is.
So like that whole
a fighting competition.
Maybe it's because they say it's not a fighting game because there's not a stamina bar or a health bar.
Maybe.
Or is it the lack of like actual button combination configuration?
And I think that's what like one.
That one's where it gets really blurred because Smash fighters will also stand and die on certain hills with that too.
Right. And then
you can still make certain move combos even though there's no structured combos in the game.
You know what I think it is? It might be Nintendo. I don't know if you guys have watched some of these YouTube videos about like people being like, well, Nintendo does not want a competitive Smash scene.
I've heard about it.
I've never understood that.
No, I've never heard that. Like, why?
You know
other
what
than the fact that half of them are pedophiles.
You know what they want? They want...
Smash will do that themselves. Don't worry.
They want Splatoon and ARMS. That game ARMS.
Oh no, fuck that game. I mean,
that
ARMS
game
is
ARMS,
fun, but it's competitively though?
Right. That and apparently, they're like Nintendo's real weird about like their brand image. Yeah. So they don't want people like to be a face for their games. So
they
like,
don't want anybody to.
There's like an hour long. I'll send it to you guys. Yeah. It's a pretty good watch.
Yeah, send it in the chat.
It makes you be like, I don't know about Nintendo now. I love Nintendo. I always love Nintendo. But like, it does make you think like, man, I wish Nintendo wasn't so like archaic with their.
They are really like
their business practices.
Right?
Yeah, they're almost like they shelter their games like
so much. Yeah, no, they really do. You know, like you can't put anything with Nintendo content on it on YouTube without their permission. You will get flagged.
Right.
Everybody.
Apparently, it's the same way with like Dragon Ball like stuff. The Toei animation.
I was gonna say Disney too. Anything with Disney content in it. I don't think we have.
I was waiting for it.
I don't think we have any Disney.
We have fair use clips from movies.
Right. Half the podcast is going to be cut out now. We were talking about.
Literally just talking about that, you know, with the whole like Twitch like clearing out. What do they call it? The whole Twitch situation.
DMCA thing.
Yeah, where they just completely like wiped out people's entire catalogs for like fucking cat sound effects and stuff in the video games that they were playing. People were getting flagged for copyrighted sound effects in the games that they were playing.
Is it because of algorithms picking it up?
It has to be an algorithmic thing.
Yeah.
I totally feel like that's what it was.
Because like, are they gonna go back and be like, oh well, that's crazy?
I mean, we
already works like that. So
we got banned 2 or 3 weeks ago in 4 countries. Take a wild guess what countries?
China,
North Korea, Iran, Syria, and Cuba.
Not China though,
no.
Which I know China's pretty oppressive when it comes to. Well, they have their own internet, so
yeah,
you know.
We do have listeners in China though, which is weird.
Really?
I think we've had. If I check the demographics, at least I think I've had somebody.
You guys put this on YouTube?
Yeah. We have a couple episodes on YouTube. Yeah. It's probably just because we talked about Xi Jinping too much.
Yeah.
You know, they flagged us and they were like, "Hey, keep an eye on them." We can never go to China.
Yeah, it's
essentially what
It's fine.
So I'm gonna get followed going home.
Oh, no.
Right?
Yeah.
I already have my opinions.
It's
of the
fine. So
CCP,
anytime we
yeah.
mention Ted, it's the Secret Service or it's the NSA agent designated to listen to our podcast.
I watched
they're right
China
down the road,
Uncensored
too.
on YouTube,
Yep.
so I knew I could never go to China. They're gonna look at my internet history and be like, yeah, no, I don't, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
You don't look that much like Kevin Hart. Speaking of people who are stuck in their ways and don't want to change their opinions about
Repeating back to the
Did
daily
you watch-
program,
did you
stuck in
watch
their
it?
ways.
Did you watch it?
Watch what?
The new Kevin Hart.
Oh God, no!
Oh my God,
no.
it's
That's not even what I was talking about.
I fell asleep.
It's impossible.
Is it? Is that
It's
bad? I wasn't even gonna try.
It's like in his house, and you're like, "This is your fucking house, bro." It's like, God damn.
It's
I'm
the Jerry
like,
Seinfeld effect, son.
It's like, shit.
Kevin Hart is suffering from the Jerry Seinfeld effect.
He's
He's
just-
so rich now that he's not fucking relatable anymore.
Right.
Bro? And even the stories you tell, it's like, yeah, I can't relate to anything you're fucking talking about.
Like,
Kevin.
yeah,
He always talks about
you're
his kids and how funny they are, and they're bad, and like they're stupid. And, like, it's just like, all right, bro.
It's like I don't believe you're with your kids that much. To be completely honest,
Talk about
with
someone
you.
jerking off on the bus or something like Dave Chappelle did. You know,
Yeah.
really turn
or,
it
you
up
know,
a notch.
make a point like
Right,
Dave Chappelle
yeah.
did.
Yes, and I love that about new Chappelle stand-up.
Me
He
too.
like makes funny shit and like it's like kind of offensive. You're like, oh shit, hold up, is he about to do something crazy? And then he like makes a point, and it's like, fuck.
He's slid into the. You remember Dick Gregory? Oh, Dick Gregory is a comedian that used to write for Richard Pryor and old like black comedy legend. But he's also like Huck Finn.
Mark Twain.
Yes, he slid into Mark Twain territory, which is why he got the Mark Twain Award, because he's definitely taken his comedy into the satire lane, where like everything he says now.
Is that why he won the Mark Twain?
I'm totally
Mark Twain Award, by the way, is named after Mark Twain because it is the highest award possible for comedy.
Yeah.
Because Mark Twain is a revered American novelist
He's also
and
widely
the
regarded.
pinnacle of satirism.
He's also widely regarded as one of the first like American stand-up comedians, or like the first, like the guy to start what we know today.
He
as
is the
stand-up
prototype to Jon Stewart. It's pretty much exactly what he
Could
is.
you imagine like an 1800s like stand-up show?
comedy. Yeah, but
Like what would they be talking about? You know what I mean?
well, the price of wheat today.
Well, let's not talk about too much of what they be talking about. 'cause,
Right,
you know, we
right.
might-
Oh, my slave hand.
Right. That'd actually be a good skit, by the way. Like what stand-up was like in the 1800s.
Oh
You'd be
my
like,
God, yeah.
Come on, you know, it'd be great.
Listen, Saturday Night Live.
Right. They'd never
Here's
do
the idea. Give us the bag.
That's all I'm saying.
it.
That's all I'm saying. Key and Peele, look, they'll do anything.
Look. We may be about to be going on break, but I just want to remind everybody that this is The Flood with Doc and Ziggy, brought to you by absolutely no one. And if you use the promo code not sponsored for shit anywhere, it will not work for anything at any time.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, the internet has, you know, solved some of the biggest crimes and caused some of the biggest crimes.
but this confirmation bias, these information bubbles,
All right, everybody sit down. You're going to get a talking to.
for the meat of the discussion today.
Yes. So, this stems from a Twitter post that I saw where somebody was telling everybody that a Christmas party they decided not to go to, most of the people there contracted COVID. And I saw a bunch of people in the replies saying, well, I went to this thing and I didn't get COVID and something and so other and other. And I commented on 3 or 4 of them with a screenshot of confirmation bias from the dictionary. And confirmation bias is taking new evidence as
So
establishment of your belief as fact. Just because you didn't get sick doesn't mean other people aren't getting sick.
Right.
it's just getting worse and worse as we move forward here. It honestly, I can't
And this confirmation bias thing, of course, goes beyond just wearing masks.
Exactly. No, it goes way beyond that. It's like we were just talking about off mic. It's a part of the whole culture war at this point. People are we're regressing so much further into tribalism that it's getting harder to penetrate people's confirmation bubbles and their information bubbles. Like, you've got your people who are steadfast in their belief that COVID is a scam because they've seen all these documentaries and they've read all these .web articles and shit like that.
And people are like, no, it doesn't take hard. It's not hard to hit the follow button, but you know, it is hard seeing that shit in your timeline over and over and over.
Right.
And not just that.
So to get someone to have a well-balanced opinion, you're going to need to not only have them follow you on your timeline, but keep you on your timeline.
And also, it's easy to read what's in, or look at what's in front of your face at that moment. It's time-consuming to objectively parse through the information you're being given and find
Twitter's
out.
actually gotten really good at that. They've actually instilled a thing where before you share a link, if it's like flagged as like important or anything like that, they ask you if you've read the article.
Oh.
Because I was gonna say
Facebook needs that.
Yeah.
Facebook.
No, like
should
it's
just
like
go away.
Facebook needs
we
a lot
are
of shit.
as far like I mean we know Facebook is like the evil empire,
Right.
and Zuckerberg is like Darth Sidious. We actually kind of have some sympathy here at the Flood for Jack Dorsey. We feel like Jack Dorsey is a human.
Right.
We feel like he has something he has no idea that he stumbled into.
Jack Dorsey is like a Wild West saloon owner where, you know, he just keeps his shotgun behind the bar
Yep.
and he kind of like lets things happen as they do. But if somebody gets out of hand, you know.
Right, he's just like, all right,
Yeah,
you gotta get the hell
out
out
of
of
here.
here.
Yeah.
But
And he got a lot of flack for doing that, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
he did.
But
He still
Twitter
gets
is
a lot of
definitely, I
flack
will
for
say
it.
that Twitter is most certainly the wildest of Wild Wests
Right.
in the
I don't
major
know.
social media
I feel
sphere.
like Reddit, I've been...
I'm not counting Reddit. I'm talking the major ones.
Remember
so
old
your
school Reddit?
Instagram.
No, I'm just now getting into Reddit,
Oh,
right?
Reddit is great.
Yeah, and
Reddit used to be really wild, like to the point I'm not even gonna like dive into some of these subreddits that
Yeah.
used to exist on there, but
I've heard
Yeah.
some horror stories. Like,
Slash
you know,
B.
before, the kind of shit... Yeah.
Just it all stems from /B. /B was like
Is that
the
4chan
Big Bang
stuff, right?
of
Yeah.
toxic internet.
That's what I was gonna say.
yeah.
When the Big Bang of the internet happened and everything else they could leave from /B, bang. Then you have Tumblr, you have Reddit, you have all of these things, and they
4chan
all have
and
that
all
toxic
that shit.
stain of
4chan.
/B on them.
4chan.
I still get on 4chan for the cryptocurrency stuff, biz, and that's it's a toxic environment, but it has helped me
I get
make
on
some
there
money.
occasionally to look at like the occult shit. I like to look at their little...
What is that? X paranormal?
There's something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
But there is a little sprinkling of toxic B on everything
Oh, yeah.
in the internet.
But these confirmation bubbles...
It's like
man,
Phyrexian oil.
we were just watching that Axios interview with the ex-head of the cybersecurity, Alex, whatever his last name is. I know I'm terrible, guys, but
He can't remember anything.
but it's not important. What was important was what they were discussing, and you know, talking about the election results and Donald, being competitive at every step to try and legitimize his case for remaining as president is just further pushing people into these bubbles that kind of already existed. And you know, we got it with the Me Too movement that pushed people who were strong opposed to that movement further into their beliefs. And you know, even with the LGBTQ thing, like we get that pushing people back further into their beliefs that they're holding hard to. And it's
Right.
as we move forward here, I mean, everything about the next year, as much as I'm trying to manifest, prosperity and peace of mind for 2021, it's like we still have some heavily contested shit to deal with. with. We're still dealing with criminal justice reform. And there are people out there who refuse to admit that police can be bad at their jobs. And even though they chose to do the noble deed of being a police officer, we can still criticize them. Like, why is that such a hard pill to swallow?
The wall wasn't like just a physical structure. It was like almost like a mentality in a way.
Absolutely.
It's like we need to wall ourselves off from all this oppositional thinking.
Exactly, from the outside, from the new culture. It got to the point where they even started labeling themselves as the counterculture, right? Because inclusivity was becoming more of a thing, and they were like, no, we want to be exclusive. Like,
right.
Can't nobody get into here.
It's an oxymoron in itself.
Right. And it's crazy to see.
How can you be exclusionary and expect to win an election? Just let that sink for a second.
The man literally came down a golden escalator and said the first thing we need to do is get rid of the others. Yo, he literally, and that's how he won his presidency. Other people will argue that he won it by being relatable and a different face on
racism.
But being the outsider in a political game. But it's like, was he really though, or did he just brand himself well enough for them to accept the confirmation bias?
I feel like we also need to tell you, LordGod, that do you know what a clear person is?
A clear person?
Yes.
I'm guessing it's not a see-through person.
No, have you seen Space Jam?
Yo, his face.
Dude, I haven't seen Space... please don't hate me for this. I haven't seen Space Jam since...
But you've seen it.
96.
Woo!
When did it come out?
One man said when Tupac
I think 96.
But you've seen it.
I've seen it, yeah.
I
Okay.
remember when... It was
Real
96.
long time ago.
Bill Murray on the golf course talking to Jordan.
Listen, it's a man's game. And you can't play. What if I tried really hard?
Can you keep it down? I'm trying to hit this ball.
It's because I'm white, isn't it? No, Larry's white, so what? Larry's not white. Larry's clear.
Oh, shit.
Space Jam came out in 96.
You're right. I think that's the last time I saw it.
I watched it when it came out, and that was it.
A real long time ago.
That's one of those movies I feel like everybody has to see, though, at least once.
I need to rewatch it.
That's classic Americana right there.
You give me a lot of homework here, so I gotta do.
Yeah, I mean, there'll be more for you
For
to
the
talk
next
about
time.
the next time you come back on.
Yeah. This was... Definitely need to rewatch this. I started rewatching it. Afro Samurai.
So good. I wish they would do
Just showed my girlfriend Yu Yu Hakusho. Her first anime.
Oh,
It's a good one. It's my second favorite of all time.
It's
it's a
my
great
second
place
favorite
to
as
start.
well.
Yeah,
If not
definitely
first.
in my top 5.
She loved it.
Oh, good.
She doesn't like everything I show her. You know what else she liked? Berserk, the
shit.
3 movies.
Yeah.
Not the
new Netflix joint. The classic
the new Netflix one. They aren't bad. The one that's terrible.
I don't like the animation, yo. I don't like that weird computer animation.
Sometimes it looks shitty.
Yeah, it's uncanny.
There's the series though that's like full 3D.
Okay.
That's trash. Like complete trash.
Yeah.
Like complete.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched all 3 movies. Give them another shot.
Okay.
I don't know if you watched them. They're actually pretty good.
I'll accept the homework.
And like we sat there and watched it. And she was just like, "Oh, this is wild." I don't know if you know what happens during the eclipse, but bro,
Okay.
it goes from like this like medieval like power struggle, armies fighting and stuff, to like demons like munching on people, and she's like.
She said,
"What the hell is this?" She's. I remember looking at her like when like Griffith like becomes the bird man, and she's just like. She's mad. She actually got angry. She was like, "This is why I can't watch this anime shit because like it's like normal, and I'm having a good time." This is how she does. I'm having a good time. It's normal, and like all of a sudden, like. people are getting raped and like demons are like munching on people.
Why did I laugh right there? God damn.
No, it was just like it's just
We
the
both
way
laughed,
she
it's
said
fine.
it. It's just the way she said it. It was just like
it's like no, that's
I mean, like
that's why I love
Berserk is
anime.
brutal.
Yeah,
But, you
no,
know,
it is though.
But that's why I love it.
Yeah,
You know, it's
that's
just like
exactly why I love anime.
can't do that shit on live action like demons like the size of skyscrapers.
American cartoons could never.
But they're gonna try with Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh no, yeah, I forgot about that until now. They're gonna do a live action Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yep, we've already.
I'm watching
You guys already
Alice
talked
in
about it.
Wonderland.
We got in depth on that one.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to.
I literally begged to the microphone. I was like, please don't do this. Don't do this.
But they're making a Spriggan. I don't know if you guys ever saw Spriggan. They're making a Spriggan series with the 3D animation, which I don't really like, but I feel like it's getting better.
I feel that way too because what was
getting
that show
better.
Dorohedoro?
Yeah,
That has it, and that was tolerable. I was like, okay, this has like a weird noir kind of feel.
I'm
to
definitely
it.
an animation snob when it comes to like hand drawn. Like,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like Akira and all that was.
You know, when it comes to like pure hand drawn, nothing will ever top Akira.
Oh, for sure. I told my niece that yesterday. I was like, this is the best. This is like the masterclass of animation.
Yeah.
Right here.
That
Like,
Studio Ghibli. Like,
People will be like, well, but this one looks better. I'm like, that's not hand drawn.
It's one of the things about
there's-
anime that I felt like made anime special, yo. The way they were able to like the B-roll scene, Joe, like the scenery shots and stuff in anime.
yeah.
Like, dude, that shit is so like
Food.
Oh my god, yes, anime food. Son.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, somebody hand drew this beautiful ass lake scene.
Glistening ass pork roast. and
Yo,
shit, you know?
this glistening ass lake. Like, what the fuck
Right.
is that shit about? Like, goddamn, man. Yo.
Right, and they make it like look like it's like actually shining, but it's just like white.
Except
on
for
the
that
screen.
one mountain. That one mountain, that one's gonna blow up.
Yeah.
And the full circle and scene. That's what I love about Chappelle as well. He brings the joke full circle.
Yeah, yep, every time. He starts out with something wild, and it's like, yo, how is this gonna... And then he gets...
Then I kicked her in the
something
pussy!
deep.
Yeah.
Yep. Or the fucking Bill Cosby shit. Like how he was joking around about a
Rapes, but he
superhero
saves.
that gets his superpowers from raping people,
Yeah.
and then it turned out he was talking about fucking Bill Cosby the entire time.
Right.
And I was like, oh my god, dude.
Because he did do a lot of good things for the black community
Yes,
back in the
he
like the 60s, 70s,
Yes,
80s,
he did.
and 90s.
Yeah, he really, even though he gate kept a little bit, he did use his platform to open the door for other black actors.
Right.
Him and Sid. LordGod, it's been great having you
Yeah,
on,
man, that was fucking awesome. Yeah.
Yes, man. You know,
Good times.
That's how we like to keep it, because none of this.
Is normal.
Y'all be safe.
Deuces.
Look, it's a flood. It's a flood. It's flooding.
Get away.
Quick, we need to get to higher ground.
Open the floodgates.
Wait, why can't we talk about black stuff?
Time to